Wait, there's something very weak coming through.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, fellow Galactic listeners. I'm Heather Allred, and this is WSTR Galactic Public Access, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 72. Today, we're talking about our predictions and expectations of Solo, a Star Wars story. Joining me in the discussion today is Mr. Aaron Julian.
Always glad to be back.
Hi, Aaron.
Hello.
And Todd Hoffman.
Star Wars Celebration is coming to Chicago!
Oh.
Hooray!
But he's not excited about it at all.
I can't even wait for news of the week. Like, this is like the biggest thing ever. Star Wars Celebration is coming to Chicago. I'm like so excited for this thing.
Oh my God.
I had to get that off my chest. Oh,
Okay.
felt so good.
Take a breath. You totally got this.
I haven't breathed since that announced like last Wednesday, so felt really good.
Oh my goodness. Well, please check us out on social media at WSTR Media. Email us at mailbox@wstrmedia.com or leave us a voicemail about how excited you are that Star Wars Celebration is in Chicago at 630-557-WSTR. which is 630-557-9787. And you can catch our complete catalog of episodes at www.wstrmedia.com. That's right, 4 W's, wstrmedia.com. And today's podcast...
You know what? We should put that into a bit.ly.
Oh, there you go.
We should.
A little bit.ly link.
We'll just call it. We'll
redirect.
just call it like W4 or something.
Oh, man.
W4 Media, you know.
I love it. Well, guys, our podcast is brought to you by Audible today, where you can get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audiotrial.com/WSTR, where you'd have access to over 180,000 titles to choose from on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, MP3 players, if those still exist.
I think they exist. Yeah.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah.
And then for you, our listeners of WSTR Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with your free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Have I mentioned free?
A couple
That's a
times.
whole lot of free, Heather.
So, I sadly still haven't picked up the bandwagon. I need to get on that, you guys.
Oh my gosh.
I know, I'm failing life right now. But once I do, I'm going to share what I've picked up. And then I think you get to keep your book.
After
At
30
the end
days.
of it all,
Yep.
after 30 days. So that's a big win.
It's mine, all mine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, download your free audiobook today at audibletrial.com/WSTR. There's a lot of words and letters, you guys. I'm just
And
saying.
backslashes and forward
practice.
slashes and
Blah, blah,
Have to
blah,
practice
blah,
your
blah, blah.
enunciation.
So, check it out. Free audiobook. Free. 30 days. You get to keep it. Check it out, guys. Check it out.
Heather, I was wondering, is it free?
Only if you visit audibletrial.com. I can't even say it. audibletrial.com/WSTR.
Yeah,
That's how
got
you're
it.
going to get your free
Heather,
audiobook.
you're in good company. I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast today at work.
Yeah.
And he stumbled over a word for like a full minute.
Golden.
Yeah. It's
right.
all good. It's all good.
This is live podcasting, people.
That's what we
He's
do.
like the king of podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
exactly.
and he has trouble, so it's all good.
It's
All
all
right.
good. All right, so
Todd's excited, so we should do this main topic.
what?
And now for our feature presentation.
What are we going to talk about today?
Well, there's a movie coming out this weekend.
What? No.
I know. Some of you may already have your tickets.
Maybe.
Maybe. So,
are we going to talk about Solo, a Star Wars story?
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh. It's, well, at the time of this recording, it is 2 days away, but when this drops, it'll be 1 day away.
Insane.
It is.
All right.
So, Heather.
Yes.
Based on what you've seen so far, what are your expectations going into this movie?
My expectations are sort of in this really great medium range. I expect to be entertained. I'm excited to see what the actors bring to the story we already know-ish. Not already know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to not put them too high because it does look really good because I don't want to be disappointed.
Oh my gosh.
But it looks so good. Like,
Yeah,
I think
it
they've
does.
nailed the right storyline and the bigger arc of the story. It just doesn't seem like they're trying hard to like replace Solo.
Oh. Yeah.
What do you mean
Maybe
by
that's just
replace
me.
Solo?
I don't know.
You're saying like with Alden replacing Harrison Ford?
Well, yes, and like Donald Glover replacing, Lando. Like, they've been very strategic in how they've done the casting and what the storyline's going to be.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm not sure they really want to replace them per se.
Well, maybe replace isn't the right word.
Yeah, I think again,
Fill shoes.
right. You don't, and Alden's kind of touched on this, and we touched upon this before. It's like, you don't want to carbon copy Harrison Ford playing Han Solo.
Correct.
You want Alden to basically have those mannerisms and characteristics of Han Solo, but he's got to be his own person, because if he tries to do everything carbon copy, it's not going to really come over well, because you're like, nope, Harrison Ford wouldn't do that. But if you capture the essence of the character,
Yeah.
I think that's what we're looking for.
Right.
But I don't
Cheers.
know.
You said it better than I did, I think.
Well, I don't want to. I mean, I don't think in the trailer they're gonna be like, Alden Ehrenreich has copied Harrison Ford Han Solo.
No.
Yeah. All right, so you're sitting medium well, basically. You're like,
Yeah.
Okay. Aaron, what about you? What are your expectations for this film?
Well, it seems that what they're promising us, maybe promise is too strong a word, but they seem to be selling us on like a Western heist movie, which combines two of my favorite genres. So I am paying full attention to this movie.
Yeah.
Because it seems to be, the main thrust of it seems to be, okay, they've got this the shady gangster guy. He's putting together a crew to, I guess, rip off this train.
Yeah.
And it's like the great train robbery. And it's like, okay, cool. That's a very cowboy thing to do. And if so, they're really pushing the space cowboy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And on paper, it sounds like that's a good thing. I think just unless the trailers are just like lying to us and the train heist is like a small scene in the movie.
Aaron, trailers never lie.
No, impossible. It's probably not going to be. Maybe it's not the main thrust of the movie, but it would still be. I'd like it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they're probably going to have the Kessel Run in there. I'm not sure if they've confirmed that or not, but that might be cool to see. Or it could just be really lame because we don't need to see it. However, one thing I'm really looking forward to is and we've discussed this before, the idea of Han Solo not being necessarily the hero that we know him to be.
Okay.
Or I guess the smuggler that we know him to be, but just very green and inexperienced and kind of in this raw state, like and it'd be interesting to see how what role Woody Harrelson plays in this, as far as his mentor and kind of toughening him up. And I think one of the key things that this movie needs to work is just really good interactions between the principal cast. Who's Emilia Clarke, and apparently she's going to be a love interest of sorts with Solo.
What? It'd
be interesting if there's like a love triangle between Solo and Lando.
Well, I don't think so. I think,
or is it something else?
Well, I think Paul Bettany's character, Dryden Voss, Kira might be there, with him.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I think
there should be a love triangle.
Yeah, right. It could be. Yeah. I think Lando's. They came out and said he's. What's the word?
Yes, pansexual.
Yes, he's pansexual.
Let's see. Okay, gonna get on my soapbox here. It feels like the same thing that J.K. Rowling did when she announced that Dumbledore was gay. Oh. It seems like what's the term? Retroactive representation, where there's not really much in the source material to lead you to conclude that a character is a certain class, but then you just announce them to be anyway.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I'm tempted to believe that because nothing we know about Lando up to this point indicated in any way that he was pansexual, but then they declare him to be, and it's like, okay, are you just trying to score brownie points here?
Right, because it's trending in culture right now, or?
Well, there's that, but it's also the case that Larry Kasdan said this, and I don't believe it's Disney official.
Oh, okay.
Unless he's speaking on behalf of Disney, but
he might be. I don't know.
It's just a weird thing because, they announced Dumbledore was gay, and then in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, that didn't play out at all. So it's like, why even bother?
I could not agree with you more, Aaron.
That's my thoughts on it, at least.
She's our HP expert there, so.
Like if you want a pansexual character in your movie, write a good one. Don't just tack it on to something that it was not.
I think they're just trying to cover that he likes all the alien species.
Well, fine, but pansexual is not the term for that. That would be like
true.
Omnisexual or something.
Yeah.
Which, fair enough, but I thought the whole point was that he was a ladies' man trying to, pull one over on Han as soon as he shows up.
Yeah. He likes all the ladies.
Like a rivalry
it doesn't
thing
really
for
matter
him.
Which one, what species it is,
Well, maybe good old Larry's trying to warn us for the movie, and we'll see how it pans out.
Oh my gosh!
I do not apologize for that one.
That one was good. That was good. So you're medium well as well. Did I say that right? Medium well.
I feel like I say this for every Star Wars movie, but it's always cautious optimism because it's like I could see how this could be really, really cool, really awesome. But Disney could be Disney, and it could end up being like a Marvel movie light starring the Star Wars characters.
I don't.
That's probably my greatest. That's probably my greatest fear for it, is that it feels too much like a Marvel movie, and then it's just like, okay, fine, whatever. I just want them to do something really cool and interesting, and the Star Wars spin-off movies seem to be the best place to do that, or at least where it's happening, because it's like Rogue One was pretty grand. Yeah. And, it took some certain risks that you couldn't really do with an episodic movie until Rian Johnson showed up. But,
well, you're cracking them tonight, man.
Yeah, I'm, what can I say? talking about the new Star Wars movie coming out like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Gets my blood boiling.
Get your blood boiling, yeah.
Gets it pumping. What about you, Todd? What are you anticipating for this movie?
Complete awesomeness.
All right, you are
Medium well.
You are medium rare.
Yeah, I just I'm super excited for this. I think to your point, Aaron, the Western vibe, cowboy Western vibe is intentional, and that is part of Star Wars lore, and I'm excited to see that a little bit more in this. And I'm always excited that we're going to see something outside of just the normal Skywalker saga. So Rogue One,
yes.
Rogue One really helped with that, and I'm really interested to see more of the universe. Not that I wouldn't mind seeing a certain couple people, but Darth Vader or Boba Fett. But do you think Boba Fett's going to show up? I'm pretty sure one of the two are going to show up, either Darth Vader or Boba Fett, because that would be fantastic. But yeah, I'm we kind of talked about this the last couple of weeks. Like the cinematography looks outstanding, and I just am looking forward to what John Powell is going to bring from a music perspective, and then how that kind of correlates with what we're seeing visually. So that's the magic sauce of Star Wars. It's just the familiarity but kind of foreignness of the visuals, and all the costumes, and the fact that on that USA Today featurette that we talked about last week, that they said they had 1,000 costumes. I'm like, okay.
Costumes, dude, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by
production design and costumes. Like, they get the blood pumping.
Yeah.
I tell you what.
I tell you what. But yeah, I'm really interested to see that, and the fact they did release the track list of them, and it doesn't give away too much. Like, it doesn't say Qui-Gon's End or anything like that. Thank you, Phantom Menace. But it alludes to, like, the heist. The train heist is actually in the beginning of the film, which makes it even better for me, because it's not like the end game. So slight spoiler, but not really. I just again, it could. Well,
you can't really trust the track list to be.
This is true. It's not like
the plot,
right?
So.
It's not like step one. This is in the 5 minutes. Yeah. Usually soundtracks, they're not totally in sync, but based on what the order is now, it's saying the heist happens early, which is fine. I'm just really excited to see kind of all that, and so I'm kind of more medium rare, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you mentioned John Powell for the music,
yes.
And he's got quite the roster. He did the music for Ants, The Road to El Dorado, Shrek, the Bourne movies,
Shrek,
Ice Age, Rio. He's been busy.
Yeah.
The How to Train Your Dragon movies.
Yes, which he got nominated for an Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he
that's true.
won. He might have.
He did not win, but he was nominated. And that's good enough for me.
That's good. That's good. So, shall we go through? Let's take a moment and kind of go through the characters, and just like talk about what you want to see from them. All right. So, Heather, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
Since you are the copier of Harrison Ford, what do you want to see Alden Ehrenreich bring to Han Solo?
There's a part of me that wants to not see him. How do I say this? Okay. I want to see the vulnerability. I want to see him earn his street cred.
Okay.
and I want to see him kind of not the same as Snoke, because I don't want him to die, which he won't, but I want someone to sort of like call him out on being, a smart word.
Smarty pants.
A
I don't know
twerp.
if I'm allowed to say that on the podcast.
Smarty pants.
Smart aleck.
I think smart aleck. Let's run with that. Yeah, I think that would be fun. So I'm excited to see how he's challenged. So to see his relationship with Tobias, I think will be intriguing, which will be Woody Harrelson's character. So, and then just because it's the greatest love story ever, just him and Chewbacca.
Oh, romance.
Sorry.
Rich.
Took that a different turn, guys. And just, there's that one scene in the trailer. So obviously who knows what it actually means, but, where Chewie's hanging out of the train.
Oh, right.
And obviously there's
he can't
gonna be
die.
a exciting moment there.
Yeah.
But what that looks like, and just, even just from the one trailer that we saw with like, you're how old and you look good. I mean, just this like brotherly jokey thing, and to see that. But I mean, ultimately I'm just kind of looking to see a younger version and say, can you be the precursor to what we've come to know Han Solo and Harrison Ford format?
Good. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
Aaron?
what I think.
Aaron?
Well, I kind of already mentioned that I'd love to see him just like inexperienced and green and making a fool of himself before he kind of, like Heather said, earn some street cred and prove himself. Kind of connected to that, I really want to see more of the seedy underbelly of the galaxy of Star Wars. Like, I want to see people get into a bar fight and
with the old saloon playing the piano, and someone cracks bar stool over somebody's head, and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just like have fun with the Western stereotypes, but adapt it to to Star Wars. Like we've seen some scenes where he's on some kind of like a land speeder of sorts, and he's like driving it around and crashing it in. It's like there's your horse chase.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they'll have like a sheriff or something like that, but
no, those are the patrol troopers, man. Yeah. The Empire.
Yeah, could be interesting.
Yeah.
One thing I really want to find out is, what is he doing wearing a Mud Trooper outfit? Remember that?
Right, I do remember that in the trailer. Is that
a disguise? Is that like a past life? Because we do see him going up to the Imperial like recruitment station, and he's like, what do you want to do? So, I know in Legends lore, he was, I believe he was a pilot in the Imperial Navy, and basically was an officer before he, rescued Chewie and defected. So I don't know if they're going to pull the same thing here or be I'm making air quotes inspired by Legends lore. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what kind of Imperial entanglements he gets himself into.
Yeah.
So if there's an opportunity for character development there, that'd be pretty neat.
That would be fantastic. Well, I think I'm going to kind of go with your Mud Trooper theory there. I think he goes in there saying, yeah, I got the pilot skills and I got all these things, and they throw him on the worst planet there is, Minbin, and he becomes a Mud Trooper, and he's like, ugh, Empire.
I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for this. And I think that's kind of how his Empire beginnings, happen. But you're right. In Legends, he is in the Imperial Navy. He's like an officer, and through that, he the Empire's enslaved Wookiees, and he has a kind heart. And yeah, that's the interesting part of Han Solo, is the dichotomy of he wants to be a really bad person, but really he's a good person. So trying to play that off.
It'd be interesting to see like why he would want to join the Empire, and it's like, is he looking to make something of himself? Is he looking for discipline?
Yeah.
Does he just need to get away from something or someone?
Well, again, that's, like that was the thing to do. Like even Luke Skywalker's like, I want to join the Academy with Biggs,
Yep.
So
and look how that turned out.
Yeah, that turned out totally different, But yeah, I think it's just the thing to do, and it's just like anything else, like getting off the planet. Like, I don't want to be here anymore, so I'll join the Academy and get myself a nice uniform and a nice job. So yeah, I think.
But that's an interesting theory that like he's like, oh, I got to get out of this sinkhole. And then he signs up for the Empire, and then he's dropped into an even worse sinkhole.
Right. And I think that's the play. I think that's like, hey, I want to be a hotshot pilot. And they're like, no, you're a grunt at the worst place that possibly be, and you're a mud trooper, and it's not going to be fun, You get those.
We do see a combat scene there, so maybe they do some dirty deeds.
Dirty deeds, as AC/DC plays in the background. That would be
dirt cheap.
A Star Wars, a Star Wars first. It's like, oi, oi.
Well, more seriously, I don't if they do some like horrible things to innocent people. It's like that could be the catalyst for him to just abandon ship.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. I'm kind of going back to what Heather said earlier too. Just like, can he emulate or kind of recreate the essence of Han Solo that Harrison Ford brought to the table? And we just know it's Han Solo. I think from a dialogue perspective, that's not going to be a problem, because Castian wrote Empire and wrote Force Awakens, helped JJ write Force Awakens. So I have no problem that they won't be able to get the dialogue right. It's just how Alden brings it to the table. So
just about the transition can you believe the transition between Alden and Harrison? Can you see him being that young and
right? We were all different people.
We're working with. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, you're the same person, but you were different when you were 20 compared to when you're older. Except correct. Like Aaron was like a baby, and now he's like 20 something. So all right.
Not much has changed.
Not much has changed. All right. So
still pooping my pants and confused and screaming.
Right. And you have no hair.
Yep. Right back to square one.
Back to square one. All right. Woody Harrelson, Tobias Beckett. Aaron, what do you think about Tobias Beckett?
Harrelson is a slip of the tongue. Harrelson's a interesting choice for like this mentor role, because I saw him in what was that series? True Detective. And all the way to something like Zombieland. And I
love Zombieland.
Yeah, he's got more range and character than maybe a lot of people let on or are willing to believe. So he's definitely the kind of person, or he affects the kind of person that just has a ton of crazy stories to tell.
Okay.
And so I think he's going to be a pretty good fit for this role. Apparently he's the guy who gives Han his first blaster. And if so, it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Although I'm most interested in like, how does who Beckett is kind of challenge and contrast and change Han Solo? Because it's not like, I really don't want him to be the equivalent of like the old man with a sword in Legend of Zelda, where he's like, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Then you never see him again.
Take your DL-44.
Yep.
Yeah.
bye. And
Bye.
so I hope it's not that, but the way the story seems to be structured is he's got a pretty significant role to play. So, yeah, I just hope they make it interesting and that there's actual like change and conflict there, and he's not just, you know, the lady in the lake throwing swords at the hero, you know.
Right. Heather, what do you think about Tobias Beckett?
Yeah, definitely curious about the mentorship, and what that looks like. Is it something that Tobias will naturally do? He's going to make Han earn it. What that looks like. Do we learn something troubling about he used to have a child and I don't know. Clearly thinking way too much about this, but
his name was Han. Like a bunch of A's.
A's, yeah. But I do like Woody for the casting. He's got this weird, gruffy kind of way about him, I guess, that I like him in a criminal kind of role.
Sure.
In the Star Wars universe, so I think that's pretty believable. But I think for me, I'm intrigued to know if they'll give him a backstory that leads to his mentorship with Han, or is he's got a crew, he's a criminal, he sees an opportunity with a kid, takes him on, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see, right? Exactly. I'm kind of the same way with you, Heather. I'm very interested to see the mentorship role, and because we saw Han or Luke and Obi-Wan, obviously in New Hope, and seeing that traditional kind of mentorship, I think this is gonna be totally different, and this is more street level. And I definitely think Woody can bring that to the Star Wars universe. So yeah, I'm excited about that for sure. Okay, Emilia Clarke, the mother of dragons, as Kira. Aaron. Kira.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh. Okay.
I have a feeling she's just going to be if she's with the gangster dude, I don't know what real role she's going to have, and that leads me to believe she's going to be like a token love interest or something like that.
For shame, Aaron, for shame.
I don't know. I hope they do something more interesting than that, but I'm not holding my breath.
Okay, Heather. Is she just another dame?
I'm glad Aaron said it first. But that's my fear, is I really hope they have something for her, that she does some sort of underbelly. She's really the one running the operation. I need something, because right now she's just a pretty lady in the pretty dresses.
Okay. Right.
And I don't know, unless her role very much is to be that beautiful as part of her conniving, manipulative part of the crew. Give it a purpose. Don't just be pretty and be a love interest. I think we've learned, I'm not against a good love interest and a love story. I think it works when it works, but I look back at our original 3, our prequels, and the back end, they all have to have a reason. You can't just put Rose and, Finn together and like there's a love story. If it doesn't seem natural, it doesn't work. So yeah, I said that out loud too. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. Well, no, you're totally right. You're totally right.
I think that's
that's a good theory.
It's my concern as the female in the podcast.
Just don't throw. I think she's going to be complex. I think it's very complex. You don't know her motive. Like, I think again they grow up together, Han Solo and Kira, and then she ends up kind of with this under this crime lord, this Dryden Voss guy, but she might be playing him, or just it's the flavor of the month. I don't know if it's. I hope she's a little bit more complex than just pretty on the eyes, So, and I think Emilia Clarke can bring it, So I hope it's not another wasted Game of Thrones character like Captain Phasma. So, but
well, there could be potential there if they kind of play it as she's like, if they knew each other as kids or whatever, and then grew up and she became this like high class uptown girl, and he's kind of like this,
he's still a street
low
rat.
Life guy.
Yeah. I'd watch
and
that.
then just have that friction there. That could be interesting.
Yeah. Again, they definitely in the trailer she's like, you cleaned up nice, basically. So I think, Han's still trying to make a name for himself, but she's already kind of associated with this crime boss, wearing pretty dresses, but there could be definitely her own motives, not even like, something that has to do with Han per se, so. Yeah, so hopefully I understand your fears and concerns, but hopefully it will deliver. So next up, Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian. Heather.
This is why I'm going to the movie.
It should have been called Lando and
those other people.
Yeah, and all those other people. Lando and Friends.
I don't know. There's something. Maybe I have a secret crush on Donald Glover and I didn't know it until I saw the preview. I don't know.
Right.
But there was something just about the first time I saw the preview with him in it and him in the bar playing poker or whatever.
I love that shot.
The way he was sitting with like the whole alien crew behind him, that you're like, oh, he nailed it.
Yeah.
Like he got inside this guy's head. Like, I'm wearing the satin, there's my cape, patent leather shoes, where like everybody else is like super grungy. You're like,
he's totally at ease in this character.
Yeah.
I just am so excited. So I'm just really praying that I haven't like built him up too big, because I don't want to be disappointed.
I don't think you have. Not at all.
So it was like the best casting choice. So
for sure. Aaron.
So thumbs up.
Aaron Donald
He's going to steal the show.
He's going to steal the show.
Yep. Like Han stole the Falcon.
Heyo. Just how your jokes are stealing this show. Hello.
Yeah. He's, I couldn't think of a better casting choice, honestly. And like I said, he just seems to totally embody the character, and it's like, yeah, that's what we need. The biggest area of concern is the area that they need to get the most right, and that's the chemistry between Lando and Han. Maybe more important is between Han and Chewie, but Han and Lando's up there. And oh boy, there's a lot that they could do, because there's a lot we don't know about Han and Lando's history. So just that it was contentious.
Okay, here's a question. Are we going to see in this film, are we going to see the reference on Empire?
Meaning
when they first arrive at Cloud City, Chewie's like, and Han's like, I hope he doesn't remember that. That was a long time ago. So I'm just saying, like, whatever that was, because they haven't, in Empire, they haven't seen each other for a long time. And the way, again, Lando approaches them, he's ready to cold cock him. So, you have a lot of guts showing, a lot of nerve showing up here, so after what you pulled. So what does that mean? Do we get to see that? Does Kasdan play with that and actually put that in the film? I say yes.
Well, it depends on how many solo movies we're going to get.
3.
Oh, well, because the big inciting incident could be later in the trilogy.
That's true.
I guess.
That's true. Right. Yeah.
We have way too many trilogies.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be ripping off the Falcon. Could be he's got to make a choice between loyalty to his friends and stealing something, or I guess whatever criminal misdeeds they're up to.
Yeah, shenanigans.
Yep. So, like a lot of things we've said, we'll have to wait and see.
We'll just have to wait and see. I'm with Heather. I think he's going to own every scene he's in. Just the scene alone, like we said in the trailer, Heather, it's just like him with his cup back and the server droid is just pouring him a drink and he doesn't even miss a beat. I'm just like, yeah, I'm in.
Everything you've heard about me is true. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm totally in. I have no qualms with Donald Glover. It's gonna be fine. All right. Next up, Thandie Newton as Val, but it's recently come out that it's actually Val Beckett, who would be Tobias's wife and the member of his crew.
And a member of his crew.
Yes.
Interesting.
So, Aaron, what do you think about Val?
Makes me wonder if we're gonna have like a Sopranos thing, where it's like family members like kind of in on the whole criminal aspect of it, or if she's just kind of gonna be in the background and pack lunches for the crew.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I don't know.
Take that mentality and throw it out the door. Thandie Newton, she plays a character in Westworld that is like fantastic, and I'm really interested to see what she brings to the table for Val. I think she's hard nosed, and makes a good accompaniment with Tobias, and they have a small tight crew, and Hans kind of get into the family. I think she's going to bring it. I don't think she's packing lunches, Aaron.
Well, there you go. There's so many characters here. You can't focus on them all.
Yeah, I know.
That's my point.
I mean, we kind of thought the same thing with Rogue One, and although some could say that there was a ton of character development, they did a pretty good job of handling all those characters. And yeah. So
it's the difficulty with an ensemble cast.
It is, yes. Heather, what do you think about the character of Val?
Yeah, I kind of hope she's a character of few words, where it doesn't take a lot for her to communicate everything that's in her brain. So whether it's just a
does that mean just shooting people or something?
She's just she's the one that puts Tobias in his place, and that's what the hope would be. We'll obviously see what happens when we see it, but otherwise, I sadly don't have a whole lot to say about her because I don't feel like I've seen enough of her in the previews to get a good read. But
yeah, and that could be intentional.
I think they're happily married.
That could be intentional,
Do you think they're happily married?
Probably. They're just a couple smugglers making their way through the galaxy, All right.
How romantic.
Yeah, sounds romantic for sure. Okay, Phoebe Waller-Bridge as L337. I'm going to start with Heather, our droid expert.
This is the second reason I'm seeing this movie.
Okay.
No, obviously I'm just excited for a female droid. I love that what we've kind of already learned and talked about her, that she's sort of she's scrappy, if I can choose to be punny, and just pulled herself together.
I see what you did there. I really do.
Thank you. But yeah, I'm excited to see how involved she is in the day-to-day with a voice, breaking droid protocol and just beeping and things like that from my R2 love. And being an aggressive voice droid as opposed to like C-3PO, who's just having a panic attack all the time and that kind of thing. So, and she's female, so she's gonna have some spice to her. So I'll be excited to see her interact with Lando, because she's got this like kick, and he's like all like, chill babe, it's all good. Like
Fire and ice.
Fire and ice, yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Aaron, what do you think about L337?
Well, she's not the first lady droid. We had the C-3PO-ish protocol droid in Phantom Menace.
Yeah, TC-14, baby.
Who served Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon on the ship together.
Yes.
And then we had the Jetster Dexter's
Flo.
waitress droid in Attack of the Clones.
Hello.
But this one seems to be like the first actually serious one, so good on them, because droids can be women too. Women can be droids too. Whatever. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm with both of you guys. I think she just keeps Lando in his place, and we need that. And again, I think it's just like, not that they're doing a male version of K2SO, but just K2 was kind of unique, and I think we want to see that in all our droids. So L3, I think, is definitely going to bring that for sure. All right, our Wookiee, Chewbacca, Jonas, I don't even know how to say his last name. Sutamo? The Finland. What do you think about Chewbacca, Aaron?
I mean, he's Chewbacca.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's much to say.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of the strengths of Chewbacca, is that he's kind of a simple character, and you need those sometimes. But if they could add a few shades here about, who he is, where he comes from, which they're probably going to do, then that could be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Heather, thoughts on the furry one?
Yeah, I think I just don't want him to lose the Wookiee sass. I like that he has a mind and thoughts and speaks them, even when, he's being referred to as a furball or, a
fuzzball.
A fuzzball, excuse me.
That's okay.
You said furry, and that's all that was in my brain. But yeah, that, he's not just this giant Wookiee with a crossbow. Like, he's got, an attitude, which I like. So I think that's all I really need from him right now. It's just that he still has that. And then obviously just learning more of the history of him and Han together. And do we learn about the, it's not a blood oath. Wow, you guys, all of my words are like
life debt.
Life debt.
Life debt.
Blood. But I like blood oath.
I got very dramatic. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. That's so metal, like blood oath.
So, yeah. Just to see that. But, yeah, just let Chewie be Chewie and roar, and I don't know.
Yes.
Keep him simple.
Roaring. Right, yeah.
I will say this. We know he's going to suplex a dude, like, on his head.
Yeah.
Good call.
Would it be too much to ask to see some arm ripping action?
Well, that was, I mean, again, that was a deleted scene in Force Awakens. So we might see it here. We'll never know. Just over this last weekend, E60 on ESPN did a special on Jonas, and very interesting. Grew up in Finland. He was 6'10" by 14. He's over 7 foot tall. Went to Penn State to play basketball and had a foot injury, but went into film, and he went back to Finland. Kind of didn't finish out his basketball career, and kind of went back to Finland, and then he started playing again. He said, I wanted to get back at it. And then through that, he kind of hooked up and got into like a casting director said, hey, we're looking for some athletic 7-foot people that have blue eyes. And the rest is history. So, learned a lot from Peter Mayhew. And this is like, that's what I'm excited about. I mean, this is like, we get to see Chewie do some Chewie things, some Wookiee things. And so I'm excited for that. And I hope they show Chewie's wife, and I hope some of the holiday special actually becomes canon. That would be,
oh my goodness,
so fantastic. So fantastic. All right.
Some things are best left forgotten.
No, I don't know. Paul Bettany, Vision as Dryden Voss here. Aaron, what do you think?
This could go either way for me. I mean, we know him as Vision, who's this kind of like really refined, gentleman-like character. And now he's kind of flipping poles to this, kind of scummy gangster of sorts. So it'd be interesting if like kind of when everything's all right, he's still kind of this refined gentleman type, but then he kind of turns into this monster when he's enraged or like people don't meet his demands or anything like that.
Yeah. Heather, what are your thoughts on Paul Bettany?
I am not against Paul Bettany. But specifically in the movie, I'm also not against Paul in the bad guy role. I think kind of to complement what Aaron was saying, he does sort of have this stature about himself that I'm very intrigued to hear his voice in a bad guy script. I think if he can find the right tone of his voice, he could be very creepy, and that makes me excited.
Like a James Bond villain.
Kind of, yeah. So, but honestly, that's all I really know.
Yeah.
From the brief, bit we've seen that he's the bad guy. So I really hope that his presence and whatever voice that he can find for it, kind of gets under your skin a little bit, and you're like, ooh, I don't really want to. Oh, okay.
Yeah. There you go.
That's the reaction I want.
Yeah, this is the one casualty of the reshoots is that Michael K. Williams was originally casted for this crime lord, and he had to go and do another movie, and so he couldn't do the reshoot. So Ron Howard made a call and said, Paul Bettany, come over. So Michael K. was supposed to play some kind of motion cap, and now in the previews we see Paul Bettany play basically himself with some scars. So be interested to see how the reshoots. I don't know. We will never know like what Michael K.'s original look or feel was for the crime lord, but Bettany's a great actor, and obviously Ron Howard called a favor, and I think he'll still deliver. Still delivered. So I'm excited for that. All right, Jon Favreau voicing Rio Durant. Heather, what any thoughts on Jon Favreau?
He's a good guy. We don't talk much, but no, I mean, I think there's not much to know about the little alien guy, right?
He's got 4 arms. That's all I know.
He's got 4 arms. That's what you need to know. So clearly he's going to do something good.
Well, you have 4 arms too.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Oh, Aaron's winning all the awards today.
Aaron is winning tonight. He is winning.
So, but I did Wikipedia the character because I was like, okay, I didn't know, I couldn't put the name and the picture together in my head.
Yeah.
And it does say that he's the 4-armed Ardenian pilot. And I'm like, all right, pilot. Pilots are generally good for some laughs and some fun and keeping a crew kind of on their heels a little bit. So hopefully he'll be some good comic relief.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So that's what I'm going to run with.
That's what you're going to run with? Aaron. Jon Favreau.
He's always a delight whenever he shows up in a movie. Like he was a doctor in Elf, which he also directed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well,
he also directed Elf. He directed Elf, so.
Yeah, so I guess that's his call. But yeah, he just, his character, like Happy the Bodyguard in the Marvel movies, kind of grew into this beautiful thing. So yeah, no complaints here. Yeah.
I honestly hope he plays it straight. I hope it's just Jon Favreau. Just like, no, like, it's just him, you know?
Yep.
I think that would be really funny. I think if he just plays it straight, I think it would be great, you know? But similar to, like you said, like an Elf, you know, just like straight up, you know, Jon Favreau, I think it would be great. So this is more of a nerd mention, but I have to mention these two guys, Tag and Bink. So this happened a while ago when Ron Howard was filming and doing his Twitter thing, and he basically said, you know, he took a selfie with these two guys, and one of them was the screenwriter Jonathan Kasdan, and the first assistant director Toby Hefferman portrayed these two gentlemen, Tag and Bink. And you're like, who is Tag and Bink? They're from the Star Wars Legends from the Dark Horse comics, and basically Tag and Bink are like these rebels that just get in all kind of hijinks, and it's super funny and super comical, and they're kind of like slapstick, you know, and they're a bunch of two guys that always get in trouble. So the fact that they're now canon is like even very interesting. So yeah, I'm interested to see if it's just like a quick cameo, because this is like second level. This is not like somebody, you know, like a casual person would know, but for us nerds that read the comics for a long time, this is going to be kind of interesting. And obviously Jonathan Kasdan, who wrote part of it, gets to be in it too, which is always nice. So yeah, so it should be interesting to see what those two hoodlums do. But the picture that Ron tweeted was they were in Imperial officers. So I don't know if they're some comic relief or what it'll be. So okay, in every Ron Howard movie, he cast his brother Clint. Aaron, what do you want? What do you want Clint Howard to do or be?
Be more interesting than his brother.
Oh. Okay,
that's it, really.
Is that really hard, or are you just saying Ron Howard is not? He's still kind of opie. Is that what you're saying?
We'll see.
Okay.
I literally know nothing about this character, so just don't suck. Thanks.
Oh my gosh, Heather, what do you want Clint Howard to do or be?
I don't know that I feel as strongly as Aaron does. Again, I don't know the character, don't know what the role will be, but yeah, don't let your brother down.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean Clint's very interesting. So he always has, you know, he has unique facial features. So
then he's perfect for Star Wars world.
Yeah, exactly. Simple is better. So hey, Clint, we don't have to put any prosthetics on you. You're as beautiful as you're gonna get. So yeah, I'm always interested. I think he might have to do something with like the bot fights or something, or that's how we meet L3. I don't know. It'd be fun to see if he was like a bot fight announcer or something like that. So yeah. So two cameos that we know about that have been casted is Anthony Daniels is one of them. He cameos as Tack, and it says fellow slave of Chewbacca. So I don't know if Anthony Daniels is a Wookiee or not, but we're going to see some Anthony Daniels. So what do you think about that, Heather?
I love Anthony Daniels.
He is.
Is this going to be his first Star Wars movie? Well, it is a spinoff, so he can still keep his cred of being in all the other Star Wars movies. Right?
Well, he did play himself in Attack on the Clones.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's been...
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No, but I'm saying, like, he has been outside of C-3PO in Attack on the Clones, so yeah.
Yeah.
So Aaron,
all for it.
Aaron, what do you think of Anthony Daniels?
I don't know if it's going to be one of those cameos where it's like, oh, he's way in the back for like 3 frames.
He's the 5th guy from the right behind Lando.
Yeah, or if it's going to be like Daniel Craig's cameo in Force Awakens, where he actually gets like a speaking role.
Yeah, no, it's going to be Boba Fett in A New Hope Special Edition, where Anthony Daniels, the camera kind of pans. Anthony Daniels will look right at the camera and give a nod.
There you go.
And then,
however it manifests, it should be fun.
Yeah. And then our buddy Warwick Davis is back, and he actually is reprising his role from one of his roles in The Phantom Menace as Weasel or something. Weasel. So Weasel, he in The Phantom Menace, he is in Watto's skybox. I guess is the best way to describe it. As one of Watto's compatriots in the pod racing scene. So, Aaron, what do you think about this? Warwick Davis coming back.
Well, it's probably gonna be on camera for like 2 seconds, say some alien language, and then the movie moves on. That's my prediction.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Heather?
Nothing really huge to say other than...
No pun intended.
It's Warwick Davis. That's exciting that he's doing a role he's done before.
Yeah.
Not just getting a role created for him to, I don't know.
Yeah.
I am not against cameos if they're done correctly.
Correct. I think he's still salty about the Last Jedi, where his scene got deleted as the naked little alien guy. So he wants back in. So yeah. No, I am interested because it's like he's reprising a role that was in Phantom Menace. So I think that's kind of cool that it goes back to that seedy underbelly. Like, he gets around. He's not just on Tatooine. So I think that's going to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there you have it. We kind of went through a lot of the main characters. So obviously there's going to be some more that we're going to meet, but these are kind of the main castings for Solo: A Star Wars Story. So all right, final thoughts. Heather, anything you want to see? Any Easter eggs? Anything that you just like dying? I want to see this in the movie.
I don't think so. I want a good storyline. I don't want throwaway lines. I want everything to have purpose.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's what I want.
That's the goal. Okay. Aaron, any final thoughts?
I said this for Rogue One too, but please don't suck. I just want, I'm okay with movies just kind of taking me on an emotional adventure, which is just fine.
Yeah.
But if it could be something more than that and be, have interesting characters that develop and conflicts that I care about, and then they, adapt and overcome to overcome that conflict, it's like, that's what makes a good movie.
Yeah.
And if they could throw some twists in there that make it interesting, it's like, yeah, that's what Star Wars needs right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wanted this, I think obviously we talked about this in nauseam, but The Last Jedi, the biggest flaw is probably the story. So, strong story, have some warmth and heart, and be funny at the same time, and take us on an adventure. I mean, it's a huge ask, but I think it can happen, and I definitely want Darth Vader and Boba Fett in this movie, and maybe Jabba. Those are the three I really want in this film. So don't disappoint me, Disney. All right. Well, obviously, we'll be talking about Solo for a little bit, but that is our preview for Solo: A Star Wars Story. All right, moving on to news of the week.
And now, the Star Wars news of the week.
Okay. I kind of spilled the beans already, but last Wednesday, kind of. No, I'm really excited about this. Last Wednesday on the Star Wars show, they finally announced the new location for Star Wars Celebration. So they took a year off last year, and there was a lot of rumors that we're going to return to Anaheim. But at the beginning of the show, of the Star Wars show, they said, it's Chicago! So...
Hooray!
Hooray! I might have let out even more of a primal scream when I heard this. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, yes.
Did your coworkers check on you?
I think this was right after work, and my buddy Brian texted me. He's like, it's gonna be in Chicago. I was like, don't be lying about this. Don't even I'm like, is this true? And he goes, it's on StarWars.com, on the Instagram and the Twitter. I'm just like, okay, I can't even handle this.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
Yeah. So it's coming back to the McCormick Place. It'll be April 11th through the 15th, 2019. So that is, count them, 5 days of Star Wars glory. Tickets go on sale at noon on June 5th, and hopefully we'll give me a little bit more details on what that will entail as far as prices. But Star Wars Celebration started way back before the prequels on 1999. So if my math is correct, it'll be the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Celebration. And it will be featuring a soon-to-be Episode 9. So, and it's in... Did I mention it's in Chicago? It's in Chicago.
We gonna be there.
we gots to be there. So...
where will you be when the tickets go on sale?
By my computer. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So I have been to Star Wars. I haven't been in a long time, but I have been to Star Wars Celebration way back in the good old days. I went to 2 and 3, which was in Indiana a long time ago. Galaxy Far, Far Away. So that was 2002 and 2005. So it's been a minute since I've been back. Have you guys ever been to Star Wars Celebration?
Nope.
Wow. Well, if you thought C2E2 was a hoot, it's just all Star It That's what makes it even. It's just it's so much Star Wars, So again, it started in Denver, then Indiana twice, then it went LA, it went to United Kingdom, Japan, been at Orlando 3 times. It's been in Orlando. Was in Anaheim in 15, and then United Kingdom in 16, Orlando in 17, and now Chicago in 19. I know. I seriously can't wait for this. I was like, Solo what? Star Wars Celebration? I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even think about it.
Well, you're going to have to be our tour guide and explain the magic to us.
Yeah. Well, once they start, obviously the biggest thing, they will be promoting episode 9 at that point. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, considering that it is a 20th anniversary. Actually, hopefully they show a lot of prequel love, because that was the beginning, So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they have in store. But yeah, Totally stoked. I am totally stoked. Okay, moving on. Forge.com released this yesterday, and the title read, "Here's how Solo, a Star Wars story, might have an astronomical mistake." So basically, this kind of goes to the old parsecs.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So science is not really the biggest strong point for Star Wars. There's a lot of not science. Not a lot of science.
Technobabble.
Yeah, technobabble.
That's the fiction part of the science fiction, my friends.
Right, exactly. So parsecs for the untrained person, because again, the line goes, it took them less than 12 parsecs to make the Kessel Run. It's not really a measure of time. It's a measure of distance. So the average or distance, see, I was going to say time, but the average distance was 18 parsecs. So Mr. Han Solo, or Lando Calrissian, did it in 12 parsecs. So, yeah. So anyways, it's pretty interesting, but I'll read the conclusion here. This is coming from Forbes, and it basically says, if Solo abides by the similar principles, then a long-standing problem with Star Wars universe will be solved. In canon, along with providing one hell of a stupendous, arresting piece of cinematic candy, I will suspect that the astral field, whether it be the pit or the brand new one, will still be ludicrous, as even though the fan in me doesn't give an Ewok, but the geoscience in me will call it a draw. So basically, you know, you got to take it for a grain of salt. It is science fiction. It's not going to be very scientific. So, but yeah, hopefully in this, even though hopefully we'll see the Kessel Run, it's not really the time part, is that he did it in the shortest distance. So,
see, I always liked the fan theory that Han Solo knew that he was talking about units of distance, but he's basically trying to pull one over on Obi-Wan and talk about stuff that sounds like it makes sense, but it actually doesn't.
Right.
To see if Obi-Wan will catch on.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kind of sizing him up.
Yeah,
so.
No, that's true. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's interesting. I like that. All right. And finally, Disney announced today on their blog about the Galaxy's Edge opening, and it's going to open in the summer of 2019 at the Disneyland Resort and late fall 2019 for Walt Disney World Resort. So again, the guests will land in the middle of the action as they live their own Star Wars stories.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I really, 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 really want to go. So sign up for Audible, throw us some money, help fund our road trip.
So it can fund our road trip too.
Yep.
Man, that is a lot of Audible books, but please make it happen. Yeah.
No kidding. It's been like 6 years since I've been to Disney, and that is way too long for anybody to go without.
That is way too long.
Yeah. Well, I waited 40 years, so, there's that. But, yeah, I can't, I mean, just going when it opens, I don't think that's even possible, because I just, that sounds ludicrous, basically. But I'm circling.
Well, your best bet is to go during like the week of Thanksgiving. Because if you have kids, they're going to have days off anyway.
Right.
And pretty much everybody else is going to be home for Thanksgiving. So it's like, that's when the park is the least crowded.
All right.
And it's before it gets all into the holidays and, pizzazz around that. So,
yeah. Well, let them work out their kinks. I'm going to come in 2020. That sounds fun. So, but yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, it's right around the corner and they're still building it. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be real cool. All right. Moving on to Cantina Chat. Heather, what's going on, man? Yes. Give us an update on your nerdiness.
Well, For those who missed last week, check us out on the socials, WSTR Media. You can see my new ink.
Hooray!
Hooray! So 2.5 days ago, I sat in a tattoo parlor and got R2-D2 permanently put on my body. So
What?
I don't know, it's out of control. So he's healing nicely.
Okay.
So I did that. Finally went and saw Avengers Infinity War. So I can
What?
check that off the list.
Was that all on the same day, Heather?
It was all in the same day.
I don't know if that's even possible.
Whew, it was a lot. I had some physical and some emotional pain that day, so covered all the bases.
Right, exactly.
Oh,
So
my
we've
goodness.
so now you finally saw it. Aaron saw it.
Yes.
I saw it. Real quick, like, what did you think of Infinity War?
Big picture, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It's hard to not be like, yep, everybody got their 15 minutes. Like, they had to make sure all of the different people
yeah,
had their little section.
Yeah.
Not a criticism, just an observation. I knew going in with the entitled Infinity War
yeah.
that some people weren't going to make it out.
What? All right, spoilers
but I'll
here.
just-
Spoilers. Yeah.
But I'll just say, that's all I'm going to say.
No, it's fine. We're past
and-
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really surprised when Captain Kirk killed Batman. I was like, whoa, where did that come from?
That's the big one.
That
You got to
is the
sit through
big
the
one.
credits for that, guys.
Yeah.
Sit through the credits for that. And then, but my biggest thing was I left thinking, I have a lot more questions that I hope the second Avengers movie answers for me.
Yeah, and that's how it should be.
So I think that's how I knew it was a good movie, because I was like, I'm not unhappy, but I'm not happy.
Yes.
So I need
in
answers.
a good way. Yeah, in a good
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
So I'll find out if I'm happy in the next movie or not.
Yeah. Aaron, what were your thoughts on Infinity War?
Well, I left and I wasn't feeling so good. No, honestly, that if you don't get that joke, go see the movie.
Yeah.
That movie was better than it had any right to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that could have gone wrong with it. But pretty amazing that they just like stuffed it full of superhero awesomeness.
Yeah.
And we still got another one around the corner. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad I made the effort to catch up on Marvel movies. I watched like 6 in a couple of days.
Dude, that's
to catch up.
amazing.
Yeah, but really glad I did.
That's awesome. Yeah. I kind of agree with Heather, like everyone had to have their bit, but the comedy and the heartache, you feel like the pacing was done so well, where again, like, the complaints about Last Jedi, the jokes felt out of place. The jokes felt right in this film. And, the Star-Lord and Thor scene when it's so good, like that scene is amazing. When they're fighting Thanos on Titan, and Spider-Man's yelling like magic kick as he comes out of portals from Doctor Strange. And I mean, like, like those are things like you just can't make up. And they literally, the thing that I loved about this film is that they never let up. It's just like constantly going, and they didn't have to do any plot stuff, cause it's like, it was 18 movies in 10 years, all in the making, just to basically have a big, long action fight. But there's a lot of heart to it. And I thought that was amazing. But to Heather's point, it leaves you wanting more, and you're not happy coming out of the film, but it's like, oh, So it's so good. It's so good. I love it. I love it. So, Aaron, besides cramming some Marvel movies in, anything else going on?
Yeah. I ended up playing, maybe I've talked about it on the podcast before. I ended up playing X-Wing miniatures game with my brother.
What?
Yeah. Have you heard about this?
No. First time. Hot off the press. What?
Yeah. There you go.
I beat Todd. Yes.
Yay. So, X-Wing miniatures is you have like these miniature Star Wars ships on.
It's in the name.
Like clear plastic stands. Yeah. And the whole thing is it's supposed to like recreate it's like a board game or a tabletop game that recreates the experience of dogfighting in Star Wars. And so each ship has something called a maneuver dial, which is basically tells you what kind of maneuvers that ship can do.
Yeah. And
those maneuvers correspond with these kind of like pre-made like movement guides where some of them are like 45-degree turns, some of them are 90-degree turns, some are straightaways.
Do you have to get your protractor out? Or
pretty much. But it's at like different distances, and so some of the maneuvers basically are more difficult than others, and those more difficult ones mean you can't take actions or do anything excessive besides maneuvering until you take like a more easy maneuver.
Sure.
And so it's a good way to balance like pulling off these crazy, tricks versus having to take more easily predictable movements. And so once you move all your ships, then based on where they're all positioned, determines like who you can attack, who has the advantage in the attack, and then you roll dice, and you have a bunch of cards that can affect your dice rolls and abilities, and it's a lot of fun.
It sounds very nerdy. Game. It sounds very nerdy.
It is, but once you get into the swing of it, it's really fast paced and really fun.
Cool. So you had fun
too.
Fun was had.
I did. I had.
Did you beat your brother? Did you beat your brother?
Oh, I spanked him.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I was flying the Millennium Falcon, Poe Dameron's T-70, and Luke Skywalker's T-65, and against a Imperial like capital ship carrying 4 TIE fighters.
Yeah.
And the goal was I had to destroy the big ship.
Big ship.
And I don't know why my brother does this. He keeps inviting me to play games with him that he knows a lot better than I do. Yeah. And I still end up spanking him at it. Man. So and he gets all upset and surprised. And it's like, well, okay. You should have known this was coming.
Right. But fun was had. Fun was had.
Much fun was had. Yes.
That's good. This last weekend, I recently moved from work. And so a lot of my Star Wars stuff had to come home. So this weekend, I kind of set up more of the man cave. So I'm getting closer to all the preciouses to be in the right spot, So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
did you have like white gloves on?
Yes. Yeah. Put the white gloves on, dusted everything, move things around.
Had to keep like positive pressure out of the room so no dust would come in.
Yeah. No, everything's like vacuum sealed and temperature controlled. It was put, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Fire control systems, kind of things like that. So so just kind of rearranging the basement. So it was painful fun. It was, it's like, oh, I got so much stuff. And I mean, it's a good problem to have, but I'm just like, okay, got to move everything around, but it was fun. So yeah, hopefully it's almost done. All right. Aaron, you want to wrap us up?
I think I will.
Okay.
Thanks again for listening to another episode of WSTR Galactic Public Access. Once again, you can check us out on social media at WSTR Media, all one word, all lowercase. We want to hear from you. Imagine that. So please comment, tweet, rate us on iTunes, or you could email us at mailbox@wstrmedia.com. Or, if you dare, leave us a voicemail at 630-557-WSTR. That's 630-557-9787. Leave us a voicemail, and we might play it on an upcoming podcast.
Yeah, Han Solo's coming out this weekend, so drop us a voicemail or email. Let us know what you thought, and we can play it next week when we talk about, I don't know, Han Solo.
Yeah, call us, bring your friends.
Yeah.
Call us once you leave the theater.
Yes.
Let us know how it was.
Yes. Yeah.
Call us when you, Paul Bettany.
Call us when you're in the movie theater, but after the movie stops, Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Finally, you can catch our entire back catalog of episodes at www.wstrmedia.com. Now you know all the ways to get a hold of us. Next week, act surprised, the Han Solo review.
What? No.
Stop.
No.
Todd, I asked you not to act surprised.
Oh. I was trying to play my poker face and I couldn't do it.
Well, geez, we've been going for an hour and a half. That's a beefy episode.
It's beefy.
But
there's a lot to talk about, and we'll definitely talk a lot more next week about Solo, a Star Wars story.
You know what I call that?
It's a wrap.
I say this is podcasting.
Go see Solo.
Well done, gentlemen.
Western train heist movie Blade Runner. Looks like I'm breaking down.
Goodbye.